crush it. In a lot of ways, this is the follow-up to jab, 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 right hook, but there's a lot of crush it elements, which is like, if you do this well, if you want to be known for being a peanut butter expert, or being, a businesswoman boss, or being a landscaper, or known for, beauty, like, you implement this, you will get awareness, you will have opportunity. But what's interesting about it is, it's easier now than when I wrote crush it or jab, 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 right hook. Because to your point, and you broke it down beautifully, Jazz, like, it used to be email marketing. You would try to get as many people to follow you as possible, and then a percentage of them would see your content. Now, individual pieces of content find their audience. It's the interest graph, right? Back to visuals. This is Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr stock. They were companies that I first invested in. When I invested in Tumblr, I thought that Tumblr was gonna be bigger than Facebook and Twitter because I was obsessed with this idea of following interests, not people. Because I felt interests had more evergreen than people, because I knew that a lot of people were gonna be young, and things change a lot with your social graph between high school to college, college to post-college, and even your 20s into your 30s. And so, pre-kids. So it made sense to me that, like, my love affair with the New York Jets, or hip hop, or video games, or trading cards would stay with me much longer than maybe the kids I grew up with, but then when I moved away, or my college friends and we moved away, and so we are now in the interest graph world. And so for everyone who's listening, this is very exciting. You've got 3 people in here who've put a lot of work in to building audience and being known. The fact that you at home, if you're good enough with your content, this is why I wrote the book with such detail of how to be good at the content, your speed in getting awareness is much faster. I had to build a slow building over time to become a big building. People can get it faster now because the algorithm, like, if you're that person, you can go from 0 to 1 million followers way faster now because your content will be seen. And so we now live in the interest graph, algorithmic TikTokification world, meaning TikTok started that trend, Musical.ly TikTok, and now every single platform, from LinkedIn to YouTube Shorts to Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to Threads, like, it's the content's reaching an audience that might like it, not who followed you. Yes, a percentage of who followed you, but it's a whole different game. Everyone listening right now would think, oh shit, these 3 have really earned over the last decade or half decade this spot. How could I've done nothing. I don't even have an account. Oh my God, wait a minute, are these 3 saying, like that? Like,
blow us out of the water.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's insane. That's insane. When I think about what I believe in, I'm like, oh my God, this is like the greatest gift ever. And people are gonna blow it because they're gonna come up with excuses. Your point is taken. I wrote this book to suffocate every excuse. And yet, people won't do it. And I know that because, look, the foundations of being in shape are out there with eating and exercising. We all know it. It's not like you don't know. It's not like I'm walking around being like, no, I think if I eat a ton of carbs and don't exercise, it's all gonna be epic. Like, we know it, but can you do it?
So true.
So what are the common things that you see stopping? Like, you speak on stages, you go in from the boardrooms to warehouses to schools.
Well,
what is stopping people?
You two are gonna like this. This is how I evolved into the Gary Vaynerchuk I am now. I used to think it was tactics and all my books were written like that, and then I realized it was insecurity.
Absolutely, because even in your story in the beginning of the book, Dogface almost didn't even post that video that got the millions and millions of views. And Gary, I gotta tell you, I'm very guilty of not posting videos because I think I look like an idiot. And I know, reading your book, I know that's one of the biggest mistakes, because you say, someone else is gonna find it valuable. Just get it out there. But many of us stop.
Yeah, and look, it's hard. Like, many of us stop because we're insecure about the way we look.
Yes.
Right?
The
like
sound, whatever it is.
Yeah, people don't like the sound. Like, I hate it. I hear people saying, I don't like the sound of my voice. I'm like, why?
It makes me want to cry for them.
It makes me want to cry.
It makes me emotional. So what do you say to them? Gary,
I say that I'm desperately scared of regret. Everyone's gonna be 90, God willing, and you're gonna be like, fuck, why didn't I?
Yes. Just yesterday, I had a gentleman tell me on a live video,
Amy, I want to post these videos. I'm making them like you say I need to make them, but I look at myself and I'm 60 years old and I look so old, and I look around and everyone's young on TikTok and I just can't do it. And you're saying, but it's that regret if you don't.
Correct, because he's gonna be 80, not 60, and he's gonna think he looked phenomenal at 60, number one.
Yes. Amen.
And number two, I live my life out of the great fear of regret, and I think everyone ends up there. Whatever you're scared of now, it's not gonna be as scary as being 91 and realizing you never followed your true self. Only bet on me, right? Like, the biggest bet I probably made was the first one, which was, I believe that I'm so remarkable, thank you, Mom, that I think I can actually spend the first 10 to 15 years of my career building a business for my parents and then leaving with nothing and starting over. You know, my story has been massaged for, I mean, many people know my actual story, but there are many people, because I read the comments, who like to think like, I read a comment the other day on a TikTok post. They're like, how do we listen to this guy? He inherited a winery. I laughed so hard when I read that. I was like, first of all, it was a liquor store in New Jersey, and second of all, you can go look at who owns it now. I sure don't. Like, I think the biggest bet I ever made on me was actually that I wouldn't resent my parents, and that's probably the biggest bet I made. I knew that I loved them so much and I admired them so much, and that I thought I was so capable. I mean, it's pretty insane in hindsight. At the time, it seemed really logical to me, but it's pretty insane to like decide when you're me that you're gonna go work in your dad's liquor store for what ended up being every day for 12 years, and I'm still close to it. Every day, 6 or 7 days a week, 10 or 15 hours a day, give up your entire 20s of enjoyment and joy, and never get paid $100,000 a year while you build them a massive business, and then leave and start VaynerMedia. And I had so little money, I had to start it in Buddy Media's conference room because I didn't have money to pay for rent. That's fucking crazy.
Yes. So
I bet on myself emotionally. Think about what I did. I bet on myself emotionally. I thought I would be emotionally strong enough to not be upset that I did that, and I ended up being very right.